कांचन गौरांगी श्रीराधे वृंदावनेश्वरी शभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिय वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्णा हरे 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 राम 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 हरे। श्री प्रभुपाद की जय। So where were we? Chapter number 5. Who can remind me?
1.2.59 verse number. So I think it is chapter 5.
So we had completed chapter 4 last time. Now 1.2.60 it starts. 59 is the last verse of the 4th chapter. Okay. 1.2.60. The topic is the purity of devotional service. Kim cha shastratah श्रूयते भक्तौ नर मात्रस्याधिकारिता सर्वाधिकारिता माघ स्नानस्य ब्रुवता यतः दृष्टान्तिता वसिष्ठेन हरिभक्तिर्नृपं प्रति. Furthermore, the following should be understood. The scriptures say that any human being is qualified for bhakti just as everyone is qualified to take a bath during the month of Magh. Vashishta, while speaking to the king, has given that example concerning devotion to the Lord. So bhakti is the property of everyone. Everyone has the rights to perform bhakti. Generally, we say bhakti is the property of devotees. That is true. Bhakti is the property of devotees. Devotees understand the value of bhakti. That is why it becomes a property. But everyone has an adhikar to perform devotional service. Everybody has the rights. Like everyone is qualified to take bath in Ganga in the same way. Everybody is qualified to perform devotional service. They should take it up. That is only the thing. They don't take it up, then what to do? That has been given. Okay. So read Aditya verse.
Okay.
And this paragraph will be read by Pushpa Mataji. Straight it goes to 3 paragraphs. Okay, read the verse and then Pushpa Mataji will read from the book.
Okay. 1.2.60. Kim cha shastrata shruyate bhakto brahmatra syadhikarita sarvadhikarita magha nanasya bruvata yataha दृष्टान्तिता वसिष्ठेन हरिभक्तिर्नृपं प्रति. Translation. Furthermore, the following should be understood. The scriptures say that any human being is qualified for bhakti, just as everyone is qualified to take a bath during the month of Magh. Vasishtha, while speaking to the king, has given that example concerning devotion to the Lord. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, chapter 5, right?
Chapter 5, 1, 2, 3. Read that.
Okay. The purity of devotional service. All of the previous instructions imparted by Srila Rupa Goswami in his broad statements can be summarized thus: as long as one is materially inclined or desirous of merging into the spiritual effulgence, one cannot enter into the realm of pure devotional service. Next, Rupa Goswami states that devotional service is transcendental to all material considerations and that it is not limited to any particular country, class, society, or circumstance. As stated in Srimad Bhagavatam, devotional service is transcendental and has no cause. Devotional service is executed without any hope for gain, and it cannot be checked by any material circumstances. It is open for all without any distinction, and it is the constitutional occupation of the living entities. In the Middle Ages, after the disappearance of Lord Chaitanya's great associate, Lord Nityananda, a class of priestly persons claimed to be the descendants of Nityananda, calling themselves the Goswami caste. They further claimed that the practice and spreading of devotional service belonged only to their particular class, which was known as Nityananda Vamsa. In this way, they exercised their artificial power for some time, until Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, the powerful Acharya of the Gaudiya Vaishnava Sampradaya, completely smashed their idea. There was a great hard struggle for some time, but it has turned out successfully, and it is now correctly and practically established that devotional service is not restricted to a particular class of men. Besides that, anyone who is engaged in devotional service is already at the status of being a high class Brahmana. So, Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur's struggle for this movement has come out successful. It is on the basis of his position that anyone can now become a Gaudiya Vaishnava from any part of the world or any part of the universe. Anyone who is a pure Vaishnava is situated transcendentally, and therefore the highest qualification in the material world, namely to be in the mode of goodness, has already been achieved by such a person. Our Krishna conscious movement in the Western world is based on the above mentioned proposition of Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Prabhupada, our spiritual master. On his authority, we are claiming members from all sections of the Western countries. The so called Brahmanas claim that one who is not born into a Brahmana family cannot receive the sacred thread and cannot become a high grade Vaishnava. But we do not accept such a theory because it is not supported by Rupa Goswami nor by the strength of the various scriptures. Hare Krishna.
Okay, now 1.2.61. So let us see what all was told in the first three paragraphs. The so-called Brahmanas claim that one who is not born into a Brahmin family cannot receive the sacred thread, cannot become a high-grade Vaishnava. But we do not accept such theory because bhakti is for everyone. Everybody can become a high-class Brahman. Vijay is he has got birth in a family, in a Brahmin family. He gets the Upanayanam sanskara. So even getting a birth in high class family, in Brahmin family, Guna Karma Vibhakasha, he has got that fortune. But then if he is not using that fortune for studying the scriptures, he is only Dvija Bandhu. But if he is using the opportunity, he becomes a Vipra, Vishesha Rupena Pragya. And then even it is not necessary that he has to realize the scriptures. Till he comes to the contact of the devotees, in the contact of devotees, he will never understand the essence of the scriptures. The moment he understands the essence of the scriptures, he becomes a Vaishnava. Now, a Vaishnava can be even from a low born. It doesn't matter, but still, he is considered to be a high class Brahmana. For a Vaishnava, there is no caste. Vaishnava's only dharma is just love Krishna. So Vaishnava is not recognized by any caste. Anybody can perform devotional service. Everyone is qualified to perform devotional service. That's what is given here. 61st verse. Actually, today I had gone to Boisar. This question was asked to me. There's some important people had come, and today is actually Matu Pongal. So actually, I think really I was really tired, but I thought, no, I'll not cancel the class. From morning, I'm in the farms. Today we worship the mother cow after Sankrant, feed them food and all. So important people from London and all had come. So I was with them. So he asked me a question. Why did you call a Brahmana for the puja? Mataji, you could have done. I said we should respect Brahmana. It's not that we should not respect, especially the Shatkarma Brahmanas. Shatkarma Brahmanas, they are authorized to perform the yajnas. They perform yajna, they get the yajna performed, they can give charity, accept charity, they can give mantras, take mantras. So we should respect them because they are not doing any other profession except for doing the Vedic rituals. So when they come in contact with the devotion, then what happens? They also take up devotional service. So they are Shatkarma Brahmanas. We should respect them. It's not that immediately you just say, no, nowadays Brahmanas are not Brahmanas. No. There are some Brahmanas who are only doing the rituals. Now, if they are doing Karmakanda rituals, it's not a problem. Let them do Karmakanda rituals. But when they understand yes, Krishna is the supreme, it is wonderful. So we should not be allergic also. At the same time, we should know what are the uh, qualities of a Brahmana. Brahmana means Brahmaniti Janati Brahmana. Yatha Padme Sarvedhikarino Yatra Hari Bhaktau Yatha Nrpa. So Padma Purana also speaks this. All are qualified for Hari Bhakti. Okay. Now there are two types of Brahmanas. One who performs Vedic rituals. So when you're Brahman, one is born as a human, he has 16 sanskara, Shodashaka sanskara. 16 sanskara. Right from the Vivaha sanskara, Garbhadana sanskara, Jataka sanskara. Like that till Antim sanskara, there are 16 sanskaras. For which, like Vivaha sanskara, we need a Karma Kand Brahmana only. So we find Brahmanas performing Sudarshan Yagya, Narsimha Yagya in the temples. And then we find they are Brahman initiated devotees. We find that they are not born in a Brahmin family. How is it that they are performing rituals? So spiritual yagyas or divine yagyas can be performed by anyone. Uh, they need not be born in a Brahmin family, but they can take Brahmin initiated. They can perform yagyas. They're taught how to perform yagyas. But especially when the yagyas are related to your sanskaras, you need a Brahmin, Brahmin born Brahmana. So that is why in the south, if you go, you say, I'm a Brahmin, I'm ISKCON devotee, Brahmin initiated, they will first doubt whether you are born in a Brahmin family or not. For Krishna consciousness, for spiritual activities, you don't have to be Brahmin born. Everybody has a right. But for sanskaras, yes, that is where we respect our varnashram. We should respect. Suppose there is no Brahmana, Kshatriya also can do. If he has studied in the Gurukul, he knows how to perform sanskaras. Kshatriya only cannot take charity, cannot give mantras, cannot get the yajna performed. Only three karmas they do. Even suppose Kshatriya is not there, Vaishya can do. Till these three are considered as an upper class. Okay? So read that paragraph. Wait. 61, 62, both are there in that paragraph. I'll read the 62 also. Kashi Khande cha tatha अत्यज अपि तद्राष्ट्रे शङ्खचक्राङ्कधारिणः सम्प्राप्य वैष्णवीं दीक्षान् दीक्षिता iva sambhavu. So Kashi Khan also speaks that in that country, the outcasts receiving Vaishnava initiation, bearing the marks of the conch and disc, shine like sacrificial priests. Okay, okay, read, Tia, read. 1 minute. Can you read Aditya, the verse, both the verse?
Yes,
Vidya can read the paragraph.
okay, ma'am. Hare Krishna. 1.2.61 यथा पाद्मे सर्वेधिकारिणो यत्र हरिभक्तौ यथा नृप. In the Padma Puran it is said, all are qualified for Hari Bhakti, O king. 1.2.62 काशी खंडे च तथा अत्यजा अपि तद्राष्ट्रे शङ्खचक्राङ्कधारिणः सम्प्राप्य वैष्णवीं दीक्षां दीक्षिता इव सम्बभूव. In the Kashi Khand, it is said, in that country, the outcasts receiving Vaishnav initiation, wearing the marks of the conch and disc, shine like sacrificial priests. Hare Krishna.
Okay.
Hare Krishna. Srila Rupa Goswami specifically mentions herein that every man has the birthright to accept devotional service to become Krishna consciousness. He has given many evidence from many scriptures that he has especially quoted one passage from Padma Puran wherein the sage Vasishtha tells King Dilipa, "My dear king, everyone has the right to execute devotional service just as he has the right to take early bath in the month of Magha, December to Jan." There is more evidence in Skanda Purana in the Kashi Khanda portion where it is said, in the country known as Mayura Dwaja, the lower caste people who are considered less than Shudras are also initiated in the Vaishnava cult of devotional service. And when they are properly dressed with tilaka on their bodies and beads in their hands, and on their necks, they appear to be coming from Vaikunta. In fact, they look so very beautiful that immediately they surpass the ordinary Brahmanas. Hare Krishna.
See, Kashi Khand is speaking about how the devotees they look so effulgent. Even the Brahmins they are surprised. So a Vaishnava's caste is not asked. Vaishnava is beyond caste. But at the same time, Vaishnava should respect Brahmanas. Simple. Because Guna Karma Vibhakshah. Krishna has given that birth. The Jiva has got a birth in a high class Brahmana family. We should respect them and try to give more association so that they can become wonderful devotees. But you should not criticize them. Then 63rd, 64th. Next paragraph, other next paragraph, it is like joint. So both will be reading. Api cha anushthanato dusho. Can you read Aditya? My phone is coming.
Yes, Maraji. अपि च अनु अननुष्ठानतो दोषो भक्त्या अङ्गानां प्रजायते न कर्मणाम् अकरणाद् एष भक्त्या अधिकारिणां
1 minute.
निषिद्धा.
1 minute. Api cha anushthanato drusho bhaktyanga anganam prajayate na karmanam akranadesh bhaktyadhikarinam निषीधाचरतो दैवात् प्रायश्चितं तु नोचितम् इति वैष्णवशास्त्राणां रहस्यं तद्विदं मतम्. Read the second one. Read the second one.
निषिद्धाचारतो दैवात् प्रायश्चित्तं तु नोचितम् इति वैष्णव शास्त्राणां रहस्यं तद्विदां मतम्.
Mm. Mm. Okay. The person qualified for bhakti is at fault for failing to perform all of the important angas of bhakti. But he is not at fault for failing to perform the duties of Varanashrama. If he by chance happens to commit some sin, there is no atonement prescribed for him. His opinion of those who know the secret of Vaishnava scriptures. So, person who is qualified for bhakti and is not performing it, he is at fault. But suppose by chance he is not performing his varnashrama, still he is not at fault. Because every jiva's dharma is to perform devotional service. If he doesn't do that, he is at fault. But on the contrary, he is not able to do his varnashrama properly. He is not at fault. If by chance he happens to commit some sin, there is no atonement prescribed for him. Does by chance something happen? Apite suduracharo bhajate mam ananya bhag. Suppose by chance it happens. So this is a secret of Vaishnava scriptures. Jiva Goswami's commentary is there. It has been established that bhakti should be without other desires. Anya bilashita shunya. On a related topic, it has been shown that all humans, regardless of social position, are qualified for this type of bhakti. There may be a doubt about this. Yes, all people are qualified. However, at the same time, everyone should follow the rules prescribed for them according to Varnashrama. The scriptures tell us that failure to perform those duties is sinful. If they do not perform the prescribed duties and they simply perform the bhakti, all people will be engaging in sinful activities. That being the case, how can they become pure if they are sinful? By doing atonements, will performance of the undone duties be accomplished? In response to this doubt, the author then answers with this verse. Moreover, that is apicha. The anga of bhakti here means essential angas of bhakti. So Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur also writes, it's a fault if those qualified for bhakti fail to perform the required angas of bhakti, like observance of Ekadashi, Janmashtami. It is not at fault if they do not perform Varmashrama activities. If they commit forbidden acts because of influence of previous Vaishnava prarabdha, atonement is not required. Since these pure devotees do not have a natural tendency for sinful actions. Bhakti alone acts as an atonement. This is the conclusion of the Vaishnava scriptures. Suppose somebody has done something wrong, bhakti alone is enough. Some different atonement it's not necessary. It's not necessary for him to do any atonement. If he has taken devotion service, that is done. Even if he has some fault in that, still it is not considered as fault. Yasyasti bhaktir bhagavati akinchana. It's another verse. Just search Neha Bikramana Ashusti. In that verse is there. Open Neha Bikramana Ashusti. In that paragraph, you see, even if a person has performed, he has joined, and it seems that he is at fault. He has given up his varnashrama, joined the devotion, but still there is no fault. But he is doing everything properly, and there is no desire for doing devotional service. Then he is at fault. You got that verse?
Yes, Mataji. This is 2.40.
Neha Bikramana Ashusti, in
Yeah.
that you see the paragraph. There's a verse put from Bhagavatam.
Yeah, this one. 1.5.17. Tyaktva swadharmam.
Tyaktva
uh,
sadharmam charanambujam hare bhajanna pakpo atapate tato yadi yatra kvava bhadramavat amushyakim. What's the last line?
Ko vartha apto.
Ova partho Abhajatam Swadharma. Abhajatam. Zabhajatam is Abhajatam is he's doing his varnashrama nicely, but he's not doing bhajan. On the contrary, he is not doing his varnashrama, but has taken up devotional service. Even in that, if there is some fault, still there is no fault. At least he has taken up devotional service. He has superior people above him. Check him. So what is this verse? Tektva swadharmam. He has given up his swadharma. It is varnashrama dharma. And has taken up devotional service. There also he is at fault. Not performing, going and sleeping in the temple. Not chanting properly. But still, there is no danger. Why the devotees? To help him. On the contrary, yatra kvava bhadram. Abhadram. What is so bhadram? Yatra kvava bhadram abhutamishyakim. Only abhadras are there. Because even though he may have performed the devotional service very nice, sorry, in the varnashrama very nicely, but since he has not taken up devotional service, what is the use? Because devotion is the rights of everyone. If one is not performing devotion, then there is no use. Okay, read Aditya that paragraph, 2 paragraphs. Thus, a Vaishnava automatically read it.
Thus, a Vaishnava automatically becomes a Brahmana. This idea is also supported by Sanatan Goswami in his book Hari Bhakti Vilas, which is the Vaishnava Guide. Therein, he has clearly stated that any person who is properly initiated into the Vaishnava cult certainly becomes a Brahman, as much as the metal known as Kamsa, bell metal, is turned into gold by the mixture of mercury. A bona fide spiritual master, under the guidance of authorities, can turn anyone to the Vaishnava cult so that naturally he may come to the topmost position of the Brahmana. Srila Rupa Goswami warned, however, that if a person is properly initiated by a bona fide spiritual master, he should not think that simply by the acceptance of such initiation his business is then finished. One still has to follow the rules and regulation very carefully. If after accepting the spiritual master and being initiated, one does not follow the rules and regulations of devotional service, then he is again fallen. One must be very vigilant to remember that he is a part and parcel of the transcendental body of Krishna, and that it is his duty as part and parcel to give service to the whole or Krishna. If we do not render service to Krishna, then again we fall down. In other words, simply becoming initiated does not elevate one to the position of a high class Brahmana. One also has to discharge the duties and follow the regulative principles very rigidly. Hare Krishna.
Read further also.
Okay.
Further 2 paragraphs also it goes.
Sri Rupa Goswami also says that if one is regularly discharging devotional service, there will be no question of a fall down. But even if circumstantially there is some fall down, the Vaishnava need have nothing to do with the prayaschitta, the ritualistic ceremony for the purification. If someone falls down from the principles of devotional service, he need not take to the prayashchit performance for reformation. He simply has to execute the rules and regulations for discharging devotional service, and this is sufficient for his reinstatement. This is the mystery of the Vaishnava devotional cult. Hare Krishna.
Furthermore, practically there are
Practically, there are three processes for elevating one to the platform of spiritual consciousness. These processes are called karma, gnan, and bhakti. Ritualistic performances are in the field of karma, speculative processes are in the field of gnana. One who has taken to bhakti, the devotional service of the Lord, need have nothing to do with karma or gnan. It has been already explained that pure devotional service is without any tinge of karma or gnan. Bhakti should have no tinge of philosophical speculation or ritualistic performances.
अन्याभिलाषितशून्यं ज्ञानकर्मादिनावृतम् अनुकूल्येन कृष्ण अनुशीलनं भक्ति uttama. This uttama bhakti means beyond jnana and karma, no other desire except to serve Krishna. Okay, next. 65th verse. 1.2.65. When this any doubt came, for anyone any doubt, big paragraph was read, no? 2, 3, 5 paragraphs it ran. 4. No doubts, huh? Okay. यथा एकादशे स्वे स्वे धिकारे या निष्ठा सगुण परिकीरितः विपर्ययस्तुष्दोषः स्यादुभयोरेष निश्चयः. So the 11th canto is said, steadiness in one's own position is declared to be actual piety. Whereas deviating from one's position is considered impiety. In this way, the two are definitely ascertained. So, what is our position? What is Jiva's position? He is eternally servant of Krishna. Deviating from that is impiety. Doing that is piety. Steadiness in one's position is actual piety. We think that, okay, donating some for well, or donating some food, that may be piety. Yesham tvantagatam papam jananam punyakarmanam. Yesham tvantagatam papam. The papa is over. What is it, papa? Papa means what? Unsteadiness in one's position. Lack of understanding of one's position. When that goes away, te dvandva moha nirmukta, then he becomes dvandva moha nirmukta. He becomes mukta from dvandva. Man, apman, good, bad. All these things are removed if he knows his position. He is eternally servant of Krishna. So as a servant, whatever is required, whatever Krishna wants, one should just do it. And how it is expressed? Expressed through the teachings given by our spiritual master. Okay? Okay, read. And then Palash, read the paragraph, small paragraph.
1.2.65 यथा एकादशे स्वेच्छेऽधिकारी या निष्ठा सगुणपरिकीर्तितः विपर्ययस्तु दोषः स्यात् उभयोर् एष निश्चयः. Thus, in the 11th canto, it is said, steadiness in one's own position is declared to be actual piety, whereas deviation from one's own position is considered impiety. In this way, the two are definitely ascertained. Srimad Bhagavatam 11:21-2.
In this connection, Sri Rupa Goswami gives evidences from Srimad Bhagavatam, 11th canto, 21st chapter, verse 2, in which Lord Krishna says to Uddhava, the distinction between qualification and disqualification may be made in this way. Persons who are already elevated in discharging devotional service will never again take shelter of the process of fruitive activities or philosophical speculations. If one sticks to devotional service and is conducted by regulative principles given by authorities and acharyas, that is the best qualification. Hare Krishna.
Okay. Next. If one sticks, what is given here? One sticks to devotional service and is conducted. If one sticks to the devotional service and is conducted by regulatory principles given by authorities and acharyas, that is the best qualification. Now 1.2.66. Prathame Ekva Swadharmam Charanam Bhujam Hare. Came just see. We were searching, no? Bhajan Napakpo Atapate Tato Yadi Yatra Kava Bhadrama Bhattamishakim Kovartha pravajatam sudharmataha. So if someone leaves his occupation duty, takes up to devotional service, there also falls down on account of not completing it, still there is no loss. Prabhupada writes in that, what profit the man if he gains the whole world but suffers a loss of soul? It's there, na? The purport Prabhupada is written in Bhagavad Gita. What profit the man? From the Bible it has been given. Okay, read this verse, read the translation. Who will read now? Aruna, will you read two paragraphs?
Okay, Mataji.
Let Aditya read the verse first.
1.2.66 प्रथमे त्यक्त्वा स्वधर्मं चरणाम्बुजं हरेर् भजन् अपक्वो अथापते ततो यदि यत्र क्व वा भद्रम् अबुद् अमुष्य किं को वार्थ आप्तो अभजतां स्वधर्मतः. Translation. In the first canto, it is said, if someone gives up his occupational duties and works in Krishna consciousness and then falls down on account of not completing his work, what loss is there on his part? Moreover, what can one gain if one performs his occupational duties perfectly but does not worship the Lord? Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. This statement is supported in Srimad Bhagavatam, first canto, fifth chapter, verse 17, wherein Sri Narada Muni advises Vyasdeva thus: Even if one does not execute his specific occupational duty, but immediately takes direct shelter of the lotus feet of Hari Krishna. There will be a no fault on this part, and in all circumstances, his position is secure, even if uh, by some bad association he fall down while executing devotional service, or if he doesn't finish the complete course of devotional service and dies untimely, still he is not at a loss. A person who is simply discharging his occupational duty in varna and ashrama, however, with no Krishna consciousness, practically does not gain the truth benefit of human life. The purport of is that all conditioned soul who are engaged in very frantically in activities for sense gratification without knowing that this process will never help them get out of material contamination, are awarded only with repeated births and deaths. In the fifth canto, Srimad Bhagavatam, it is clearly stated by Rishabdev of his sons, person engaged in fruitive activities are repeatedly accepting birth and death, and until they developed a loving feeling for Vasudev, there will be no question of getting out from this straightened laws of material nature. As such, any person who is very seriously engaged in his occupational duties in the varnas and ashramas and who does not develop love for the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Vasudev, should be understood to be simply spoiling his human form of life. Hare Krishna.
Any person who is very seriously engaged in his devotional service and who does not is seriously engaged in his occupational duties but does not develop any love for Lord is simply wasting his time, spoiling the human form of life. Now 67th verse. एकादशे आज्ञायैव गुणान् दोषान् मयादिष्टानपि स्वकान् धर्मान् सन्त्यज्य यः सर्वान् मां भजेत् स च तत्तमः. 11th canto it is said, he perfectly understands that the ordinary religious duties prescribed by me in various Vedic scriptures possess favorable qualities that purify the performer. And he knows that neglect of such duties constitutes a discrepancy in one's life. Having taken complete shelter at my lotus feet, however, the saintly person ultimately renounces such ordinary religious duties and worships me alone. He is thus considered the best among all living entities. So, someone gives up his duties. So, there will be discrepancy in one's life. But if he has taken up devotional service, no discrepancy. Just giving up, it's not encouraging that give up. Give up for a higher cause. Simple. Sometimes devotees think, okay, not to perform that. Neither this also nor that also. So it is not give up. Better is take up higher responsibility. Like when you're feeding Lord, you are feeding everyone. Devi Devatas, everyone you are feeding. Here at least one or two we may feed, but we are feeding 33 crore Devi Devatas. If you water the root, whole plant is watered. You don't have to water it separately. So if he has so in the Vedic scripture it is said one should not neglect his duties. But if you have given up everything, Devarshi Bhutatranam Putranam na kinkaro nayam runicha raja. Sarvatmanaya sharanam sharanyam gato mukundam paharta kartam. 69th verse is speaking about it. 68th verse. Devarshi Bhutatranam Pitrunam. So Deva, Rishi, Nura, Nara, Pitru, Pitrunam. Na kinkaro apta. Apta means family members. They are all responsible for our existence. Everyone. Deva, Rishi, Bhuta, Aptaha, Nunam, Pitrunam. Everyone are, we are indebted to everyone. Like you ask them which Gotra. That means what? We are asking which Rishi, from which Rishi we have come. But na kinkaro nayam runicha rajan. You are no more indebted to them. When but when? Sarvatmanaya sharanam sharanyam. Completely asserted to him. Then you are no more indebted to that particular. You are not more indebted to Nanam, Pituram, Nadeva, Rishi, no one. Okay? Read the words and then Aditya you continue reading the paragraph from Prabhupada's book. That goes to 3 paragraphs.
Balaji, both the verses, 67 and 8, right?
67 we did, na?
Yeah, so 67 and 68 both, right? Reading is pending for both.
Yes.
Okay. 1.2.67. Ekadashe Agnayaiva Gunam Doshan Maya Dishtan Api Swakan Dharman Santyachya Yah Sarvan Mam Bhajet Sacha Satyamaha. In the 11th canto, it is said, he perfectly understands that the ordinary religious duties prescribed by me in various Vedic scriptures possesses possess favorable qualities that purify the performer, and he knows that neglect of such duties constitute a discrepancy in one's life. Having taken complete shelter at my lotus feet, however, a saintly person ultimately renounces such ordinary religious duties and worships me alone. He is thus considered the best among all living entities. Srimad Bhagavatam 11:11:32. 68. तत्रैव देवर्षि भूतात् नृणां पितॄणां न किङ्करो नायं ऋणी च राजन् सर्वात्मना यः शरणं शरण्यं गतो मुकुन्दं परिहृत्य कर्तम्. Translation. It is stated there, anyone who has taken shelter of the lotus feet of Mukunda, the giver of liberation, giving up all kinds of obligations, and has taken to the path in all seriousness, owes neither duties nor obligations to the demigods, sages, general living entities, family members, humankind, or forefathers. Srimad Bhagavatam 11:541. This is confirmed also in the 11th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, 11th chapter, verse 32, in which Lord says to Uddhava, "My dear Uddhav, any person who takes shelter of me in complete surrender and follows my instructions, giving up all occupational duties, is to be considered the first class man." In this statement of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, it is understood that people who are generally attracted to philanthropic, ethical, moral, altruistic, political, and social welfare activities may be considered nice men only in the calculation of the material world. From Srimad Bhagavatam and other authentic Vedic scriptures, we learn further that if a person simply acts in Krishna consciousness and discharges devotional service, he is considered to be far, far better situated than all those persons engaged in philanthropic, ethical, moral, altruistic, and social welfare activities. The same thing is still more emphatically confirmed in Srimad Bhagavatam, 11th canto, 5th chapter, verse 41, in which Karbhajan Muni addresses Maharaj Nimi as follows. My dear king, if someone gives up his occupational duties as they are prescribed for the different varnas and ashramas, but takes complete shelter, surrendering himself unto the lotus feet of the Lord, such a person is no more a debtor, nor has he any obligation to perform the different kinds of activities we render to the great sages, ancestors, living entities, and family and society members. Nor has he any need to bother executing the five kinds of yajnas, sacrifices for becoming free from sinful contamination. Simply by discharging devotional service, he is freed from all kinds of obligations. The purport is that as soon as a man takes his birth, he is immediately indebted to so many sources. He is indebted to the great sages because he profits by reading their authoritative scriptures and books. For example, we take advantage of the books written by Vyasdev. Vyasdev has left for us all the Vedas. Before Vyasdev's writing, the Vedic literature was simply heard, and the disciples would learn the mantras quickly by hearing and not by reading. Later on, Vyasadeva thought it wise to write down the Vedas because in this age people are short memoried and unable to remember all the instructions given by the spiritual master. Therefore, he left all the Vedic knowledge in the form of books such as Puranas, Vedanta, Mahabharata, and Srimad Bhagavatam. There are many other sages like Shankaracharya, Gautam Muni, and Narad Muni to whom we are indebted because we take advantage of their knowledge. Similarly, we are obliged to our forefathers because we take our birth in a particular family where we take all advantages and inherit property. Therefore, we are indebted to the forefathers and have to offer them pinda, prasad, after they are dead. Similarly, to the people in general, we are also indebted as well as to our relatives, friends, and even animals such as cow and dog who render us so much service. And the next paragraph also, right, Mandaji?
Yes, yes.
In this way, we are indebted to the demigods, to the forefathers, to the sages, to the animals, and to the society in general. It is our duty to repay them all by proper discharge of service. But by the one stroke of devotional service, if someone gives up all obligations and simply surrenders unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead, he is no longer a debtor nor obliged to any other source of benefit. Hare Krishna.
Okay. 69th verse. Shri Bhagavad Gita 18.66. Sarvadharman Parityaja Mamekam Sharanam Brajaham Tvam Sarvapapebhyo Mokshishami Ma Shuche. So about the process of surrender. What are the six aspects in surrender? Anukulya Sankalpa, Pratikulya Savarjanam, Rakshasati Vishwaso, Uktutve Varna Katha. Atmanikshepa Karpande, Shadvidha Sharanagati. There are Shadvidha Sharanag, six processes and devotions in surrenders. When you say I am surrendered, Anukulya Sankalpa, take favorable mood. Pratikulya Savarjanam, give up all the Pratikula Bhava. Rakshasati Vishwaso, having complete faith. Yes, Krishna is there to protect me. And then Rakshasati Vishwaso, Voktutve Varnam Tatha, Krishna is my maintainer. Atmanikshepa, judge one's own activities. Karpanya, always have favorable mood. Always have a humble mood. So, Karpanya means humble. So in this way, these are the six aspects which is required in surrender. Sarvadharma Parityaja. Okay. Read the verse. Who will read? Now this can be read by Diya. Diya read and then read the paragraph. Sarvadharman Parityaja. Unmute. Yeah.
In Bhagavad Gita also, the Lord says, give up
Na,
all our...
Sarvadharman, read the verse, na? Sarvadharman Parityaja. You
Mataji,
don't
I
have?
don't have that. Yeah.
I thought you must memorize it. Okay, Aruna, tell the verse, Sarvadharman Parityaja.
श्रीभगवानुवाच नाही श्रीभगवद्गीतासु सॉरी सर्वधर्मान् परित्यज्य मामेकं शरणं व्रज अहं त्वां सर्वपापेभ्यो मोक्षयिष्यामि मा शुचः. Translation: In the Bhagavad Gita, it is said, giving up all dharmas, surrender to me alone. I will deliver you from all sins. Do not worry. VG 8.18.66.
You read from there? Same thing. Now, next paragraph will go 1 to 2.70.
Mataji, this reading is pending, this paragraph.
Yeah, read it. Read. Aruna, read.
Okay. In the Bhagavad Gita, also, the Lord says, give up all your occupations and just become surrender unto me. I give you assurance that I shall give you protection from all sinful reactions. One may think that because he is surrendering unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead, he will not be able to perform all of his other obligations. But the Lord says repeatedly, don't hesitate. Don't consider that because you are giving up all other engagements, there will be some flaw in your life. Don't think like that. I will give you all protections. That is the assurance of Lord Krishna in Bhagavad Gita. Hare Krishna.
Okay, 70th verse. Agastya Samhitayam Yatha Vidhi Nishedhautu Muktam Naivopa Sarpatah Tatha न स्पृशतो तथा न स्पृशतो रामोपासकं विधि पूर्वकं. So Agastya Samhita it is said, just as the rules and prohibitions of the Smriti scriptures do not approach a liberated person, the rules and regulations applicable to Vaidika or Tantrika worship also do not touch the worshipper of Rama. So liberated souls, already they are doing only. The rules and regulations does not approach them. In the same way, the rules and regulations applicable to Vaidika or Tantrika worship also do not touch the worshipper of Rama. Those who are completely devoted, you'll ask them, please chant the holy name. Are you chanting 16 rounds? He will tell, where did I forget? So, like you'll say, morning you should get up and do the Mangalarti. He said, already I don't sleep only properly. He'll say, I don't sleep properly. Where is the question of waking up? Where is the question of sleeping late? So for liberated souls, rules and regulations does not approach. In the same way, rules and regulations of Vedic and Tantrika worship do not approach the worshipper of Rama. Okay. Read Aditya, read the paragraph also.
अगस्त्य संहितायं यथा विद्धि निषेधः तु मुक्तं नैवोपसर्पतः तथा न स्पृशतो रामोपासकं विधिपूर्वकम्. Sorry. In the Agastya Samhita, it is said, just as the rules and prohibitions of the Smriti scriptures do not approach a liberated person, the rules and prohibitions applicable to Vedika or Tantrika worship also do not touch the worshipper of Ram. There is additional evidence in the Agastya Samhita As the regulative principles of scriptures are not required by a liberated person, so the ritualistic principles indicated in the Vedic supplements are also not required for a person duly engaged in the service of Lord Ramachandra. In other words, the devotees of Lord Ramachandra or Krishna are already liberated persons and are not required to follow all the regulative principles mentioned in the ritualistic portions of the Vedic literature. Hare Krishna.
Okay. Last paragraph. 71. एकादशे एव स्वपादमूलं भजता प्रियस्व त्यक्तान्य भावस्य हरिपरेशः विकर्म यच्चोपतितं कथञ्चित् धुनोति सर्वं हृदि सन्निविष्टः. So 11th canto also speaks. One who has given up all other engagements, taken shelter of Lord, is very dear to the Lord. Indeed, if such a surrendered soul accidentally commits some sinful activity, the Lord, who is seated in everyone's heart, immediately takes the reactions of such sin. So one who has completely dedicated to the missionary task, one who has taken the complete shelter of the lotus feet, even if some accidental fall is there, Lord takes away the reactions of such accidental fall. This verse is there. Apiche duracharo vasate mamananyabhak sadhureva samantavya samyak vyavasito isa. I still consider him as sadhu because it's only an accidental fall down. His accidental fall down is because of previous life impressions, or sometimes Krishna wants to teach. Then sometimes it happens. It's just an accident. Okay? You read the verse, Diya, read the paragraph.
1.2.71 एकादशे एव स्वपादमूलं भजत प्रियस्य त्यक्तान्यभावस्य हरिपरेशः विकर्म यच्चोत्पतितं कथाञ्चित् धुनोति सर्वं हृदि सन्निविष्टः. And in the 11th canto it is said, one who has thus given up all other engagements and has taken full shelter at the lotus feet of Hari, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, is very dear to the Lord. Indeed, if such a surrendered soul accidentally commits some sinful activity, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is seated within everyone's heart, immediately takes away the reaction to such sin. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Okay.
Similarly, in the 11th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, 5th chapter, verse 42, Kharbhajana Muni addresses King Nemi and says, "My dear king, a person who has given up the worship of the demigods and has completely concentrated his energy in the devotional service of the Supreme Personality of Godhead has become very, very dear to the Lord. As such, if by chance or a mistake he does something that is forbidden, there is no need for him to perform any purificatory ceremonies, because the Lord is situated within his heart. He takes compassion for the devotee's accidental mistake and corrects him from within. It is also confirmed in Bhagavad Gita in many places that Supreme Personality of Godhead Krishna takes a special interest in his devotees and declares empathetically that nothing can cause his devotees to fall down. He is also protecting them. Hare Krishna.
The Lord protects the devotees. Any accidental fall down is not considered to be any big issue. Or you can say Krishna knows how to take away that sinful reactions also. Okay. So here we'll stop. We have completed fifth chapter. Fifth chapter is purity in devotional service. One who has taken shelter of Krishna, Krishna has given himself to that person. Simple. Krishna resides in the heart of the devotees, and in the devotee's heart, Krishna resides. Sadhu hridayam mayam sadhu nam hridayam tvaham. In the heart of the devotees, Krishna resides. Where will you find Krishna? In the heart of the devotees. Where will you find devotees? In the heart of Krishna. Okay, now how to discharge devotional service. That is the next paragraph. Next lesson which we'll do Friday. So Friday also we'll have classes. All now small. We'll finish up 19 chapters are there. Okay, any questions you can ask.
Hare Krishna Maharaji, there was a reference of King Dilip in Padma Puran, where Vasishtha Muni was telling King Dilip. So, if you can tell something about their background, like.
Same thing that they did some aparadhas, na? Dilip, then the Sagara was formed, then Bhagirathi calls.
Okay.
The same story where Kapil Muni's ashram, they go and do the horse. I think that story is there. Is there in Bhagavatam,
Okay.
where they do some aparadhas and they're all cursed. They'll all become ashes. Dilip's sons all become are into ashes because they go and insult the king, the rishi. Rishi curses them. Then Bhagirath calls Ganga. So that is where it is said that your devotee should not be criticized. Simple. They criticized Kapil Muni. That
Okay.
is the story.
Thank you,
It is
Maharaji.
there in Bhagavatam. It is there.
Okay. Thank you.
Yes. Stop here. वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्यः च पतितं पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः वैष्णवेभ्यो